those people to raise their hand and say, yeah, I'll give you money. Here's my big bag of money. Yay, right? I'll do that. But if we have those same 100 people and we say, hey, you don't have to buy anything. I just want to help you out. And then after we help them out, we say, hey, now do you want to buy something? Then all of a sudden we're going to get that many people with our little money sign, but we might get 3 to 5 times that amount of people. And that's where the real magic is. And so the beauty of this is that you're actually not going to get more traffic. You're just going to convert a higher percentage of it. And this is why it's such an easy strategy for businesses to do, and you can do it immediately. You don't have to spend any more money on marketing. It literally just drops to your bottom line. Like if you improve conversion, you just make more money. So let me tell you the first time I had this big breakthrough for myself. So in April of 2016, I paid $25,000 to be in this group, and everybody there told me to do a webinar. And I did a webinar and it didn't work. Now to be clear, so let's say that webinars didn't work. I didn't have the skill at the time to do one. And so I saw this dude just scrolling on my feed that said free case study on how I spent $1 and made $120,000 in a weekend, right? So I saw this case study and I was like, huh. And so when I opted in and watched it, the guy just did a screen recording of like how he did it. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I was like, I could do that, right? And so I swapped out my webinar for just a video with a headline that said free case study, how we added 213 members to a gym and $112,000 in San Diego, right? To a small gym in San Diego. And as soon as I did that, the next morning, Layla asked me, she's like, what did you do? And I was like, what happened? And she was like, my calendar's full. I was like, really? My lesson on that was like, because a webinar could be perceived as a lead magnet depending on how it's positioned. The thing is that the more advanced your audience, the more they'll probably understand it's a sales pitch. So the less likely it's to convert to a more business owner audience or more sophisticated audience. But when I just said, hey, here's this thing, consume it on your own time, let me just show you what I did, a lot of people were really interested in that, and they were way more willing to exchange their contact information. And so even if, for example, you say, you know what, I am gonna give up a little lead magnet, if you will, on the front end, if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean lead magnets don't work, it just means that lead magnet didn't work. Just like the headline for an ad, doesn't mean ads don't work, it just means that ad didn't work. And so this is why I'm actually so adamant about testing the wrapping or the packaging of a lead magnet, even more than the stuff inside of it, right? Because you can change how many people want your lead magnet by 2, 3, 10x by simply changing the headline of your lead magnet itself rather than changing any of the contents. And so provided the contents do clearly solve a problem for the person, it's really just about how we package it so that they want it. So here's why lead magnets work. So if you've ever been to Costco, right? Why do they have all these food samplers at the end of every aisle, right? On one level, you could say there's some level of reciprocity, but I don't know if that's the main reason people then go buy after they have a piece of teriyaki chicken. It's because they try it and they're like, that's good, maybe I'll have more of that. And so there's a number of different types of lead magnets that you can employ. That, where you give someone a tester, is a small piece of something that's much bigger. It's a sample or a trial, right? That's category 1. Category 2 would be a one-step and a multi-step process, right? So if I say, hey, we're gonna turn your style around like Ashley does, well, the first thing you're gonna need in that process is gonna be like some colors that we can say, these go well with you. And so that's the first thing. But once you have the colors, you're like, okay, but I don't know what tops and bottoms and how do I do it formally and informally? It's like you're gonna have other problems that are come after that. So you just solve this very specific problem that then leads to other problems. Or the third is what I would just consider the assessment, the revealing of a problem, right? And the easiest example I can think of is, hey, free website speed test, and someone does the test and they realize that their website speed is slow, in which case your core offer is how to fix it. Right? And so any of these 3 things or combinations of them can be a really effective lead magnet. So what we're changing is going from asking, hey, just buy my thing to, do you want this free thing? And so then once they've consumed